Okay, so we're going to begin this morning in a seated position. Okay, so come to what I call Baddha Konasana. So it's seated. Just get the camera so it's a little better. And you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. And I want you to make it tight. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet as close to you as you possibly can get them. Yeah. And this is just a good way to open up your groin. Yeah, so use your back of your arms to kind of press the thigh bones down. And then feel your feet come together. Press the arches of your feet firmly together and just sit up really tall for a few breaths. Draw your waist up and just look forward. And then what I really like is to flip the palms so the fingertips face the back edge of the mat, and then broaden the shoulders and the chest and just create a little bit of a kickstand for yourself. But continue the action of the thigh bones dropping down and the arches of your feet coming together. And just close your eyes for a few cycles of breath so you can just arrive into your space. So Ujjayi breath is the goal. Inhalation is through the nose. Exhalation is through the nose. Feel the air move through the back of the throat. So keeping your torso as upright as possible, you can bring your hands back to the front of your shins. And drawing this left leg a little closer, you're going to bend your right leg so you have a 90-degree angle and just grab the front of your shins. So you've got half Baddha Konasana with this leg and a bent front right leg, and you're just staying upright and grounded and looking forward. Then from here, the right leg is going to extend. And if you can't grab the base of your foot easily like this, use a hand towel. I mean, you're all at home in your bathrooms, around your kitchens. Just use something so you can make this easy for yourself. But the goal is not to slump. We want to sit up really tall. You want to feel the stretch of the meaty part of your hamstring, not up by the insertion point, and just hold here. Really focus on your waist, staying long and out of your lower back. Keep encouraging that left thigh to drop open. So now you're on the blade of that left foot. Good. Breathe lightness into your right leg as you hold it up using both your hands. Draw the shoulders back into the socket. Flex your right foot firmly, spark up your toes. Good. Take your left hand to the outside of your right foot, or you can use the hand towel, or you can always grab the side of your leg if it's too much. Take your right hand back behind you. So you're extending the leg out, and then you're incorporating a twist. This is your IT band. Keep the leg moving forward. If you need to intensify things, if this is not intense enough, take the leg 2 inches to the center line of your body, and that's going to give you more of a stretch through the hip joint. Breathe. So it's a subtle movement. Stay with it. Come back to center. Now, take both hands back onto the front of the foot. Keep the lift of the leg. Reach your arms forward. Lift the belly up. Float the leg higher. Keep the torso lifted. Reach with your arms. If this is too intense, your hands can always be down on the ground to create a little bit of support, kind of out like a V. Lift a little higher. Rebend the leg. Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet come together. So reset yourself here. Draw the leg in a little closer. Take the left leg, bend it in half. Everything happens in steps. Let the blade of your right foot really drop so you get into that inner thigh. And then from here, extend your left leg out. When you do it like this, I find you can really check in from right side of the body to left side of the body. And I know for myself and my own body, I really see, like a weakness in this hip as opposed to the right side, or the hamstring being looser on one side. So just breathe right here. Breathe lightness into your body. And the goal is not to force your leg to go pin straight. So it may need to have a deep or a soft bend. Breathe a little bit more. You're going to switch the grip just like you would do in a dancing Shiva. Grab the outer edge of your foot. Use a kickstand-like arm behind you. Keep the lift of the leg and begin to take a little look to the left. Keep the torso very lifted. If you find yourself leaning back, sit up a little taller. If you need to have more intensity, take the leg softly to the right, about 2 or 3 inches at most. That's going to get you into your IT band. Keep the lift of the torso. Don't take your whole body with you. Your hips stay forward. Just taking your leg a little bit to the right. Keep flexing your foot. Stay with the breath. Come back to center. Take both hands on the edge of the foot again, just like you started, or on your calf. Keep the lift of the leg. Don't let it drop. Reach your arms forward. Straight forward. If it's too much on lower back, have the hands out kind of in a V shape with the palms down. Lift up from your upper thoracic, a little higher. Good. Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet. Stretch your arms up. Fold forward with your feet pressing firmly together. Slide your arms out in front of you like they're a down dog. Let the head just drop. 3 breaths. Create a little round of your spine. Yeah. Round out your belly, kind of scoop it out, and see if you get a little bit more space. Great work. Slide the hands back underneath your shoulders. Move your feet to the outer edges of the mat. Come into squat malasana. So just moving slow from the ground up. Turn the feet out a lot today. Use the back of the triceps. Lengthen the tailbone down. Feel the weight on the outer arches of your feet, the outer blades of your feet and the inner arches of your feet. So your whole foot grounds you, your tailbone drops. Good. Start to come up halfway. Rest your arms on the tops of your thighs. Pivot your feet so now they're lined up with the outer edges of your mat. They're wide. Your seat moves back. Your thighs move with you. Your chest lifts. Now this time I want you to create a little up dog in your chest. Just kind of almost like cat and cows as we move through. Yeah, it's just doing different movements, creating different shapes. Beginning to really connect to just the feeling in your body, not attaching to it, and just the inhalation and the exhalation. Keep your seat low, slide your arms straight up, interlace the fingers. So Anjali Mudra, the index fingers point, the thumbs cross, the biceps back. If the shoulders are tight, the arms are going to be a little bit more forward. Move the weight back into your heels, lift the sides of the body. Bring the dristi forward. That's your gaze. Yeah, stay with it. Keep the weight in your heels. Feel the strength of your legs. Press all the way up to stand. Draw your hands to prayer. Walk to the front edge of your mat, feet together. Stand, mountain pose, Tadasana. Turn the palms forward. The shoulders draw down the back. The thigh bones contract. The weight shifts back into your heels. Close your eyes for a breath. Just feel your body and the energy that you have this morning. The goal is to move that energy. Blink the eyes open, sweep the arms straight up towards the sky, dive slowly over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine, plant your palms, take 2 big steps to get you back to a plank in here this morning. Good. So find this first plank, look at your hands, make sure that they're pretty much the width of the mat. Index fingers are forward, tailbone is long. Fire up the thigh bones, squeeze the outer hips, the outer ankles in. Move your weight forward so you really come onto the balls of your toes, the crown of the head forward. Feel the ground. Modify if you need with the knees dropping to the ground, but stay a few more breaths. Focus on your breath, the broadening of your outer shoulder blades, the hugging in of those outer arms, and less resistance. Down dog, hips float up and back. Spread your toes a little bit against the ground. Separate your feet so they're about hips width distance, roughly. Feel the outer arms hug in. The baby fingers press into the mat, the thumb, the index finger. Bend behind the knees as much as you may need in here. So you can just begin to really access the pose that you need. So your hips lift up off your shoulders. These look great. Roll back forward to a plank position, stack your body, align it. Yeah. Move your eyes to the front edge of your mat. There you go. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Drop your knees if it's too intense for right now. Re-straighten your arms to a plank and pause. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga or a supported chaturanga. You can always just hold plank. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. Do it slow, bend your elbows. You don't want to miss it. It's so wonderful. Lead with your heart and chest for your first up dog. Point the tops of the feet and the toes a lot. Press through the palms, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat. 2 big steps to get you there. Long spine when you arrive, weight moves forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Bring it to the prayer at heart center. Good, drop your arms. Here we go. Stretch the arms straight up, look up a little. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine to set it up. Plant the palms. 2 big steps get you back. Feel the plank and then lower halfway or wherever you're going today. Drag yourself through a clean up dog. Fire up your thighs, press through the feet. Take a downward facing dog, move your hips up and back. So just like this a bunch of times just to get us going. Press through your hands, look to the top of the mat. You can step, you can walk, you can float, but arrive safely at the top. Long spine right here, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come up. Drag it to heart. Prayer center, drop your arms. Look forward, stretch the arms up. Dive over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine, plant your palms. Step, step. If you choose to float, you must float with bent elbows to a chaturanga. Pull yourself to an up dog. Take a downward facing dog. Slow it down. Yeah. Press to your hands. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine right here. Weight is forward. Fold over yourself. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart. Again, stretch the arms up. Awaken. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float to a chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Bring the feet together so you have one leg at the back of your mat. Look forward. Yeah, just a little bit. Lean onto your left hand. Just take a very basic Vashisthasana side plank here. Stack the 2 feet. Alternative is to drop your bottom knee. This is a great way to take it. You could use your right foot and right leg as anchor. You could float your right leg up so it's hip height. Yeah, or you can opt for the 2 feet on top of one another or staggering the right foot on top in front of the left. Lift from your bottom hip. Slide the right arm straight up and then see if you can look up. Watch the top hip. It doesn't peel open. Stays on top of the left hip. Stay with your breath. Look down, plank position. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga, pause. Keep your gaze a tad forward, re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hug your right knee to your navel, point your toes. Scoop out your lower belly, draw in. See if you can get your knee and your forehead to touch. Glide your right foot all the way forward and through. Come to your fingertips. Work out the positioning from your right foot to your back left. It should be about hips width distance. It's pretty long and wide. Yeah, be on your fingertips for a second. Think of an up dog in your upper chest. Feel the strength of your back leg. Kristen, your alignment looks really good. Your right knee directly over right ankle. Take a few breaths. Work on your right hip. Grip it under you. Yeah, it's going to help you out a lot in your practice if you start to really focus on that. Come to your fingertips and then hover the fingers from the ground. And if this is too much, you just opt to drop the back knee, and that's going to give you a little bit of support. So your fingers are just hovering. Yeah. You're working on that right hip, gripping it back behind you and firing up your hamstring. Good. Reach your arms straight back now, like a set of airplane wings. Palms always face down when you do it this way. Grip through your legs, through your belly, through your waist. Press through your right heel. Use the strength of your back leg. Rise up, high lunge. Crescent lunge. Yeah, you can always take a little bend or a deep bend in your back knee if you feel like your hips are dumping down. Keep bending into your front thigh. Feel the sides of your body lift you up. Lift from your waist. Feel your body in space. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Open up your arms wide if you have the space. If not, just cactus the arms. I don't know what everyone's rooms are like. Begin to move your torso to the right. So your left arm slides forward and your right arm reaches back. I know for me, my right arm feels a little jammed up. So you can always place it on the flat part of your back. Begin to look right towards the back right hand. Keep sitting into your front thigh. Stay with your breath. Keep the arms really open and wide, okay? Broaden across the chest. Look forward towards your left hand. Tent the left fingertips and slide it to the instep of the foot into an easy twist. Block underneath your left hand can be a great addition here. 2 shoulder blades stack just like they did in a side plank. Same thing. Focus on that right hip. Grip it underneath you. Activate from your left hamstring and your quadricep. Breathe space from above the belly button into the upper ribs to twist. Another big breath in. Look to the floor, place both hands down. So this next little transition is gonna happen slow. Plant the palms, feel your outer arms grip in. Begin to draw your right knee back in the way you started. Float it slowly through a 3-legged down dog, but keep the hips squared. It's almost like you're moving through quicksand. Feel the right foot flex. Pause here. Bend at your knee crease, flex the foot. So now your foot's at a 90-degree angle, your leg's at a 90-degree angle. You're gonna lift your right thigh up, begin to get the psoas release. Broaden the upper arms. You can come high on your left hippie toes. Lift your right thigh higher, but don't open the hip. Feel the sides of the body hug in. Keep the lift of the right leg, flex the right foot. Lower the left heel down without the right leg dropping. Keep the lift of the leg and the leg bent. Draw the knee back in. Step it forward and through. Turn the back foot. Stay low to the floor. You're now warrior 1 feet. Arms reach back once again, straight back, palms face down. Focus on that outer right hip. Grip it underneath you. Turn the left thigh forward, the left waist. Press into your feet, root to rise, warrior 1. So if you get here and it feels awkward, know you can always slide your right foot out a little and take a longer step. Yeah. Spin the left ribs. Do this, guys. Last couple breaths. Turn the palms to face the front edge of your mat. Yes. And then cactus the shoulder blades. So do like a lat pull down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, broaden the chest. Turn the left ribs a little bit more forward. Steer the right hip back. Then from your elbows to your fingertips, begin to straighten your arms. Lift up a little higher. Nice work. Hands to the floor. Move through a vinyasa. Whatever that looks like for you today. Yeah. Upward facing should feel good. Downward facing presses you back. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Look forward, lean onto your right hand, find a basic version of side plank that works for you today. Whatever you did right, try and be consistent on the other side. Nice. So if something going on in your shoulder, you can always drop to your forearm. You can drop your bottom knee. Stack the 2 shoulders. Start to move your gaze, your dristi, look up. Stay with your breath. So I always have a theme in practice. You start to notice the theme early, like I'm holding the postures. You're like, okay, that could be a theme. Look down, both hands down, plank. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga, or just hold. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Move slow, hug the left knee in, scoop out the belly, draw the knee to the forehead. Focus on your outer arms and your hips, hug them in. Look forward, land your left foot lightly forward, come to your fingertips, pause. Work out the arrangement with your feet so it's just right for you. Focus on your left hip, gripping it underneath you, back leg strong. On your fingertips here, steer the hips back, float the fingertips so they hover. A little bit of an up dog in your chest. Sides of the body lifted, gaze is forward. Really press through your feet and your legs like crazy here, and then stretch your arms straight back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Remind yourself that your palms should face down. Yeah. Press through your feet, root to rise, warrior crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted, excuse me, you're in crescent lunge. Hip points are forward. You can always drop your back knee a little bit, hover it to lift the hip points up, and then refire it up. Find your breath. Open up your arms wide or cactus them, it's up to you. Begin to look towards your left hand and then begin to turn just your upper body. Your left arm begins to reach towards the back wall, your front right arm is forward. You can always bend your left hand and have it on the flat part of your back. Focus on your hips, squeeze them in, activate the back leg. Nice work. Begin to look forward towards your right hand. Tent the right fingertips to the floor, slide a block, easy twist. You got it. Grip the hips underneath you. Stack the two shoulder blades. Use the strength of your legs. Come back to your breath when you start to get kind of aggravated with it. Look to the floor, take both hands down, transition is slow. Plant the palms, hug the knee, pause. Feel your outer arms grip in. Very slowly extend the left leg up and back to a three-legged down dog. Flex the foot to begin with, lift from your inner thigh, keep your hips squared. Your right thigh bone moves back, your left inner thigh lifts. Flex the foot, bend the knee at the knee crease. Don't open your hip, keep the new two knees side by side. Lift from the inner thigh, from the thigh bone, there you go. Come high on your right tippy toes and see if you can lift your thigh up a little higher. Let the head be free. Keep the lift of the thigh, start to lower your right heel. Lower it down a little more, keep lifting that thigh. Keep the lift of the left leg, keep it bent. Just roll forward like that and drag the knee to the chest. Keep the gaze moving forward, land your left foot forward. Turn your back foot onto its side. Arms reach back like airplane wings. Grip that left hip underneath you, steer it back, and then rise up, warrior one. And then I know for me, I have to kind of slide my foot a little more forward because I need a longer step. Back leg trumps the pose. You're gonna press to the outer blade. Good, flip the palms to face the skinny edge of the mat. The palms face forward. Cactus the arms, shoulder blades squeeze together. Pause here. Left hip back, right ribs forward. I don't know about you, but I feel a lot of openness in my chest when I do it this way. From your elbows to your fingertips, straighten your arms. Hands to the floor, vinyasa or not, up to you. You can always just step to a dog. Upward facing should feel good, so your call. Downward facing back. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Good, look where you wanna go. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine, fold over yourself, sit into a chair. Weight goes into your heels. Just like you did in that bear squat, move your thigh bones back, your seat back, your weight moves to your heels, and then your chest lifts like a little up dog. Alignment looks fantastic. Press to stand, drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, leave it behind. Good, stretch the arms up. We won't do a lot, I promise. Sit deep. Fold over bent legs, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float. Vinyasa or not. When you get to your dog, land your right foot forward, turn your back foot onto its side, warrior one or crescent lunge, up to you. Hands come down, plank position, chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing. Left foot forward, back foot onto its side, warrior one. Hands come down to a plank, vinyasa or not. So it's not too fast, it's not too slow, it's just right for you. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Breath in. Leave it behind on the exhale breath. Press into your hands, look where you want to go, step or float feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale, exhale, fold over the legs. Sit again into a chair, weight goes into your heels. This pose is all about your mindset, yeah. Press to stand, drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Good, stretch the arms straight up. Sit into a chair pose, weight moves back. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float through vinyasa. Upward facing dog, press to the tops of the feet. Nice, downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot onto its side, warrior one. Nice, Jody. Hands come down, plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. It's beneficial to me when I have multiple people with the same name. Left foot forward. Yeah, warrior one. Nice, hands come down, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. We'll just do one more. Press to your hands, look where you want to land. Make it soft, make it effortless. Get to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Sit one more time right here into chair. Press up to stand, bring it to heart. Drop your arms. Here we go. Stretch the arms up. Make it easy and graceful. Sit into chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float. I'm getting hot. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. It's working. Right foot forward, back foot onto its side. Warrior one. Connection with your breath is key. Hands come down, plank. Bend your elbows for the chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot lands, back foot on an angle. Warrior one. Nice work. Hands to plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing, skims your body through. Downward facing back. Slide your right foot in between your hands. Turn your back foot onto its side. Cartwheel open, warrior two. Yep, I want the heart rate up a little. Perfect. Your arms are open. They should feel pretty good to open and spread wide. Look at your feet. Make sure your right heel and your left arch line up. Right thigh turns open. Side of your body in between your 2 hips. Arms reach big. Pick something to focus on. Close your eyes. Let your body melt in the pose. Focus on your right hip. Grip it underneath you. Fire up your left leg. Starting from the angle of that left foot, press down. Feel the weight in your right heel. Sit a little deeper. Keep the strong bend in your right leg. Begin to move into an extended side angle. Right arm can rest on the top of the thigh for today's practice, or hand to the outside of the foot is where we're going ideally. Use a block any direction that works for you. Start with the 2 shoulders stacked like side plank arms. Grip your right hip underneath you. Yeah, turn your bottom ribs towards the sky. Slide the left arm up, or you can slide it forward, depending on you. Just so you know, if your arm ever comes in front of your face like this, it's just an indication the shoulder's a little tight. So just keep it straight up then. If the arm is moving forward, it should turn nicely from the shoulder. Keep bending into the front thigh. It's all about making these shapes in our body. So as you begin to hold the pose, how can you lighten yourself a little bit? Maybe it's with the breath. Maybe it's with a little less thinking. Maybe it's going deeper, or the opposite. You could always back out. Stay for a little longer today. Keep turning those bottom ribs. Left arm slides straight up. Anchor your feet without any bounce. Warrior two. Look forward. Circle both hands to the floor. Vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Enjoy it if you can. Downward facing dog, hips pressed back. From your down dog, slide your left foot forward. Step right into a warrior two position and circle open. Look at your feet. It's your real estate. Check it out. Side of your body is long, so you're not turning towards your front leg. Arms are nice and open. Check in with your left leg. Make sure the knee isn't winging in. Turn the thigh open. Use the outer hip. Grip it underneath you. Use the strength of your right leg. Press firm. Beautiful poses. Lengthen the tailbone down. And create space right here. A few more. Stay grounded, guys. Keep the body nice and lifted. Begin to move into your version of extended side angle. It could just be the arm resting on your thigh for today's option, or block to the outside of your foot going any way. Start with both shoulders stacked nicely, your right arm reaching up. If you want more, slide the right arm forward. Just depends on the health of that shoulder. If you notice your whole bottom ribs start to collapse, yeah, back out or begin to work on steering your left hip back and taking your bottom ribs and turning them towards the sky. So essentially you're moving your ribs from left to right. Strong angle from your right foot all the way through your right arm. And as you begin to hold, notice if you start to clench. What can you let go of here? Just letting the pose happen. Make sure your left thigh keeps pressing against the inside of the left arm if the hand is there. A few more. If the right arm wrapped forward, stretch it up. You thought I'd never tell you. Pull back up, warrior two, don't bounce. Hands to your hips, straighten your left leg. Pivot the foot in, turn the right foot out. Yeah. Pivot the left foot so the leg is strong and the toes turn in a little, but the hips stay squared the same way that they just were. Your whole body isn't moving. Open your arms wide. Move into a triangle pose. I like doing it this way because if you need a shorter stance, it's there for you to take. Everybody's a little different. Soften behind your right knee if you know you're not so flexible, or if you're very flexible, soften behind your front knee. Stack the two shoulders, then begin to look up. Breathe. Okay, so your top arm is gonna reach behind you. You can either go for a half bind, or for today's practice, I'm actually gonna lift up and turn. You want to take a half Goma arm. So slide your left hand up your back with your palm facing open. So if you're not even that open in your shoulder, it could be down low. So the palm faces up. Keep turning your bottom ribs. Yeah. Good. Look down, move into half moon with your hand like that if you can. Right hand moves to the block, right foot stays forward. Keep that half bind. Keep your right foot forward. Then maybe with that back hand in that half Goma arm, you could reach for that hip and take the full half bind here. So the hand goes and wraps to the outer part of your right hip. Yeah, grip your hips in, lift from your inner thigh. Turn your bottom ribs, look off your left shoulder. If the binds aren't working for you, just release it. If you have some sort of bind, just release the left arm and let the energy move towards the fingertips, towards the sky. Look down, float back to a triangle. If your hand's on a block, you can just move it with you, or your hand to your shin. Keep lifting the side of the body. Keep turning those bottom ribs. This is not a back bend, so the side of the obliques are keeping you lifted, and the strength of the legs. Feel your feet and the strength of them. Press into the mat, pull up to stand. Bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your right foot in. Turn it so it goes a little bit towards the skinny edge of the mat going the other way. Turn the left foot out. So you're setting your legs up for triangle on the other side. The whole torso doesn't move, it stays stacked. Open up your arms. Yeah, if you had your block and you only have one, move it with you. Begin to move into basic triangle. Hand on your shin, right arm up. Create the energy that you need. With this right hand, you can, once again, you could always just go to this half bind if that feels better, or slide the hand halfway up the back with the palm open and see how that works for you with your shoulder. Nice, really nice. Be here for a few breaths before you move on. Good. Keep whatever bind it is that you chose, or if you picked none, that's fine. Look down, focus on your left foot, keep it forward, move the block with you, stay close to the ground, one motion, bam, half moon. Flex and spark up your right toes, lift from your inner thigh. If your right palm's kind of like in that half bind, that funny half bind, the half Goma arm, slide your arm around now and see if you can grab your bottom hip. So take it more into a more traditional way. Lift from the inner thigh, look off your right shoulder. And always have your hand on your hip. More breath. If you fall, you get back in. If you took a bind, just unravel the arm. Let the blood move through the fingertips. Yeah. Look down, lightly transition back to triangle, do your best. Sometimes it's not so pretty. That's the beauty of practicing at home. Nobody can see anything. Lift from your waist, slide your right arm up a little bit more, stay with it. Anchor your feet and your legs, use the top arm strength, pull up to stand. Take your hands to your hips. Pivot. I'm back. Go to a down dog. I'm back. It's okay. Down dog. Yeah, it's fine. Downward facing dog. In your down dog, roll forward to a plank. Yeah, bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Pull yourself to an up dog, point your toes. Take a downward facing dog, hips press back. From your downward facing dog, step your right foot forward. Yeah, scoot your back foot in. Walk your right foot to the right, bring your hands to your hips. Come up halfway, steer your hips back, come up the rest of the way. Depending on the space that you have in your room, bring your arms out wide. Palms go straight out like a capital letter T. Begin to turn your torso to the right. Stay upright. Lengthen from the crown of the head and the base of the feet. Good. Stay upright if back is sensitive. If you'd like to move on today, slide the left hand to the right shin and the right arm up. Block underneath your left hand is an option. Steer the hips back. Right hand can always go on the flat part of your back. Good. Use the outer blade of your back foot. Good. Begin to move your gaze down. Right hand comes to the flat part of your back. Your block's going to move out in front of you. And you're going to float from here to revolved Ardha. So essentially, this is a warrior 3. Okay. So you can always slide 2 blocks and just pause in a warrior 3 and keep this really neutral. Right hand on the flat part of your back. Lift from the inner thigh. And then stack the right arm up if you'd like to go deeper. Twist from above the belly button from those upper ribs. Look a little more right. Lift from the inner left thigh. Keep the pelvis nice and neutral. Look to the floor. Take right hand down, pause. Feet come together at the top of the mat. Sit into a chair. Weight goes into your heels. Slide your arms up. Hands drag to a prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, turn to the right. Really pay attention to your knees, your feet, your ankles, your shins, that they stay lined up nicely. Your seat moves back. Your weight stays in your heels. Begin to look a little bit more right. Yeah, open up your arms if you feel like you have that space. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Keep the waist long. Keep the shape of your legs. You're doing awesome. Pull around to chair, look forward. Press up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, leave that behind. Standing on your left leg, guys. Hug your right knee in. Just do this. Grab below the kneecap. This may be where you choose to stay today. That is fine. If you'd like more, you're going to crisscross your wrist and you're going to grab the base of your foot and hug the knee in. The biggest thing is that you want to just stand up really tall. So your standing left leg is the power leg. The thigh bone contracts, the waist lifts. The shoulders draw back into the socket. You feel your belly really hugging in. Then from here, if you'd like, you can start to practice straightening out your right leg. It may or may not be successful, so don't force it. You can just keep the leg bent. The leg will definitely have a bend to it. Feel the standing left leg. Now stay with this or keep your hand on the outer edge of your right foot. Begin to move into your revolved Ardha. Not revolved, standing leg raise. Dancing Shiva. Begin to look towards the right, towards the back. Stand up tall. Dancing Shiva. Waist is long. This can always be done with a bent knee. Breathe from the standing left foot into the thigh bone, in through the crown of the head. Begin to move your gaze back to the front edge of your mat. So the way you went in is the way you're going to come out. Recross the arm. Rebend the leg. This may be where we're meeting some of you. Good. Keep hugging the leg in. Hug it in really tight and just let go of the arms and bring them up. Yeah, really fill up from the ground up. Use your breath. You're going to stride through a warrior 3. You're going to step to a low lunge with your hands to the floor. So just going to look like this. Great. Walk the left foot over to the left. Straighten the leg and bump your back foot in. Yeah. Walk the left foot over so you have about hips width distance. Bring both your hands to your hips. Steer your hips back and then pull yourself up. Welcome to the left side. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Nice work. Bring your arms out wide. Cactus them if you don't have the space. Anchor your feet. Feel your hips move back. Begin to turn just from your belly button up. Arms open. So you want to really feel that back leg, really pressing firmly back. Stay upright if this feels best for you in your low back or your body or your mind. Begin to move into twisting triangle if that's where your body needs to go. Your hand to the front of your shin or a block. Left arm extends up. Imagine someone has you by your hips, pulling the hips to the back edge of the mat. Press more through the right foot. Nice alignment, everyone. Crown of the head moves forward. Tailbone moves back. Begin to bring your gaze down. For the transition, personally, I bring my left hand to the flat part of my back, and then from here I move my weight in the block forward, and then I bring myself into that kind of amended warrior 3. We check in, and then you move on if you're ready to. Lift from your inner right thigh. The balance is always different from right to left, so you take your time. Stack the left arm on top of the right if you have that range, or just be here. Lift from that inner thigh, Kate. Lift from your inner back leg. I can't actually see your leg, but I know what it's doing. Yeah. Lift it. I can't see the leg, but I'm just guessing. Perfect. Two more breaths. Look to the floor, left hand comes down, pause, step the right foot to meet the left. Sit into a chair. Bring your arms up, look forward. Slide the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, turn towards the left. Check in with your feet, your shins, your knees, all that good stuff. Keep them aligned. Crown of the head moves forward and waist stays long. Open up your arms if you want more. Last little. Keep the shape of your legs wherever you are. Pull around to chair. Recommit with yourself. Press all the way up to stand. Drag it to center. Drop your arms. Pause for a second. Let that go. Standing on your right leg now. So hopefully you didn't get confused and you're on the right side. If not, do the leg you think you didn't do. Draw your left knee in. Just draw it in. Just do that much. Grab below the kneecap. Pull the leg in tight. If you'd like to move on with us today, crisscross at the wrists. Grab the base of your foot. So your alignment is key. Draw from your standing right leg. Keep your chest lifted, your throat lifted. Yeah. Begin to extend the leg forward if you think you have that range of motion in your hamstring today. The leg does not need to go pin straight. Focus on the standing right leg. Thigh bone back, chest lifted. Gaze neutral and forward. Keep the grip the best that you can. Your hand's gonna stay on the outer edge of your foot. You're gonna begin to turn your left arm, your waist, and your gaze back. Keep your waist long. The twist is happening from above the red, dancing Shiva. Couple more. Your gaze begins to move forward, very slow. Re-wrap, cross at your wrist, re-bend the leg. Hug the knee in tight, do it slow, bring your arms up. So don't let anything drop, staying engaged. You're gonna slide back through a very brief warrior 3 into a low lunge with your hands down. Good, drop your knee. Walk your right foot to the right. Yeah, you can keep your toes curled into the mat if that's better for you. Left palm flat, right arm back. You're gonna begin to grab the foot and get a bind. If this is not comfortable for you today, Release the foot and just take your right arm, and this is the twist. This is a great pose. A block can even come underneath your left hand. And you can stay really upright. I'm going to let you experiment today. You could work on keeping your right foot forward, or maybe it feels better for you to let your right foot turn out a little and roll to the blade of your right foot. So you decide what you need. Yeah. So even if that leg is down, Kristen, and your right arm is back, you can work on turning your right foot out a little and see if that thigh bone, work on the thigh dropping and rolling to the blade of the foot. That may give you an outer hip stretch, even really upright like this. So if your foot turned out, yeah, take the foot flat to the ground again, turn it forward, let go of your bind behind you, take both hands down to the ground. Good, curl the toes into the mat, lift the kneecap, take the palms flat like we did before, hug the knee in, extend the leg up and back to a three-legged down dog, don't open the hip. This time you're gonna look forward and slide your right knee forward into a half pigeon, yeah. I just wanted you to keep your pelvis neutral so you didn't come out of alignment. And then fold. It should feel good. Okay, so maybe you love half pigeon. You just want to stay here and ignore the next part. It's up to you. If you want to try something different today, yeah, pull yourself up. So what's going to happen is we're going to go into a bull seat, okay? So your right knee is going to come forward and you're going to go ahead and you're going to slide your left leg around. So it's best to stack the two knees. So if you can't tell, my left knee is stacked in front of my right and I'm standing up pretty tall. My fingertips are on the ground. Enough that I can move my feet out of the way. Some of you may need a block behind you to sit. So as you come down to sit, you're straining, take a block and sit on it. Don't make this any more complicated than you need to. Ideally, you want your two knees on top of one another and your feet evenly away from your outer hips. Good. Hook the big toes, inhale the breath, exhale, fold. So the full pose is with Gomukhasana arms. If you'd like to take Gomukhasana arms, take your right elbow up and wrap your left hand around. It will look like this. And then you fold. Ha ha. Four more breaths. Pull your torso up. Good. Take your hands by your side body, unravel your legs and take your feet flat. Flip your palms so they face you. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh like this. Yeah. Your right ankle over your left thigh. Make a number 4 here. Inhale the breath. Come into a bridge pose with your right leg bent in a half figure 4. Look down the center line of your body. There should be a straight line of energy. So it's reverse tabletop with ankle to knee. Lift a little higher. If you'd like, keep the right leg like this or extend your right leg up. Lower the right leg to meet the left, rebend the right leg, lift an inch higher, exhale the breath, lower down. Good, cross your ankles, you have to step back somehow. You gotta do the other side before we forget about it. Move through a vinyasa, chaturanga, upward facing. Stay with me guys, last 5 minutes of work, downward facing. Land your left foot forward, Low lunge, drop your knee, keep your toes curled. Right hand's gonna stay down, left arm's gonna reach back. This may be the posture for you today. If you like to catch the foot, grab the ankle from the outside. You like to play with rolling to the outer blade of your left foot, turn the toes out a little, yeah, and drop down that way. Yeah, even really upright, fine. Let go of the bind if you have it. Look forward, straighten out your foot, curl the toes into the mat, press into your palms, hug your knee to your navel. From your core, stretch the left leg up and back, don't open the hip. Stay even. Begin to look forward, land your left knee forward, half pigeon. Yeah, I was gonna say, Jody L, if you could go down, it creates two different types of stretches. When you stay upright, it's different than when you go down, because the upright version is gonna really get your psoas. When you drop, it's gonna get more your piriformis, like that butt area where we get really tight from running and cycling. So experiment with it. Couple more breaths and we're gonna add in. Nancy's ready to add in. So if you're finding the most benefit from this half pigeon and just want to stay, that's fine. If not, scooch the leg in. It's almost like you need to sit on your foot a little. Sweep the right leg around, okay? So the right knee stacks in front of the left. Yeah, separate your feet a lot and then come down to sit in between. You can hook the big toes and just sit really upright or fold that way. If you want to add the Gomukhasana, do your left arm up and then reach around and see if you can grab your right hand to your left fingertips. Keep your head pressing against the back side of that arm. Lengthen up and then fold if you're able to. Three more. Pull your torso up slowly. If you have the arms bound, release them first. Take your hands right next to your hips, unravel your legs so their feet are hips width distance. Cross your left ankle over the edge of your right thigh. Flip the wrists so they face you, so the fingers face towards you. Inhale your breath, anchor your right heel. You're coming into reverse tabletop with your ankle crossed over. If it's too much, just release the left leg and take regular reverse tabletop. Lengthen your tailbone, look down the center line of your body, flex the foot. Keep pressing through your right heel. Start to lift your left leg up, straight up. Lower the left leg so it matches the right. Bend the left leg. Lift your hips an inch higher. Exhale the breath, lower down. Lay on your backs, move your block with you. Two more back bends to conclude the practice today before you hit Shavasana. So you're gonna lay down, set up for bridge or wheel. You may wanna just go for full wheel. You may feel really open. Good, so when you lay down, if you're setting up for bridge or supported bridge, bend your legs in half, fingertips match the backs of the heels. Lift from the tailbone. This may be where you stay, you can clasp your hands. If you feel great with a block, slide underneath your flat part of your back and pick something that works for you, any direction. Sometimes you get to this point in the practice and you just need more restoration. You just need to restore. Yeah, so Jody, I'll walk your feet in 1 inch closer to you and you're gonna be in really good shape. Yeah. Nice. So the lift in these back bends is from the tailbone to the back of the knees. Bring your thighs in, Katie, a little bit more. Yeah, so it's coming from your feet. Now, if you want to go for full wheel, any of you, flip your palms, bring your chin to your chest. Take a giant breath in. Remember, I don't teach it where you come to the crown of your head. I want you to tuck your chin and come up that way. So give it a whirl. Take a giant breath in, move on the exhale breath. Straighten out your feet, your thighs. Nice, Kristen, really great. Press the floor away. If this isn't for you, hang where you are. Stay with your breath. Tuck the chin when you're ready. Exhale your breath. Lower all the way down. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give them a big squeeze. Yeah. Take a happy baby just because it feels good. Pull the knees down around your rib cage. Yeah. Good. Final part here. So keep your legs kind of like this, kind of like, it's almost like a crow. Bring your arms in between. Yeah. Bring them in between. Hold your legs and almost feel like they're going to wrap to the sides of your triceps. Flex your feet a lot. Draw your shoulder blades up off the ground. Scoop out your lower belly. Reach your arms forward more. Keep the neck long. Stay with it. Good. Lift up a little higher. Exhale the breath, lower the shoulder blades. Take the soles of the feet together like this. Yeah, just like the feet are floating in space, Mom. The feet are floating in space. External rotation of your thighs. If you have a block, place it behind your head. Drop your legs down. Shavasana with the soles of the feet together and your head on the block. Yeah. If you have a bolster, it would go the long direction. If this is too much for you, legs just extend out and you take a regular Shavasana. Let everything go right now. So if your legs are still butterflied, just draw the knees together. Yeah. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out through your mouth. So it's like a little mountain with your legs. Feel your feet on the floor. Good. If your legs are out straight, draw the knees in. Meet everybody there. And then hug your knees to your chest. Give them a big squeeze in. Really squeeze in. Use the strength of your body. Push yourself up to face the center. If you prefer just to finish your practice in a laying down position, I call it extended Shavasana. You could take that. Sit up really tall when you're ready. Feeling a little lighter from the practice, a little bit more open. Hands come to prayer. Have some gratitude for yourself in this awesome practice. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, guys. Awesome flow. Stay tuned.